Hello, Dave with Hammond Motorsports. Want to take a little bit of time. I've been getting some questions about how to measure some of the stuff in the rear end, like the amount of rear steer we're getting, the amount of wheelbase loss, cage timing, things like that. So what I want to do here is we'll get the car on the plates and find you a nice piece of steel like this. It don't have to be solid, but just find you a piece that is nice and square. Take a tape measure, square this up, front and back, and get that to where it's square with the plate as the car is at ride height. Then you can take anything. The nice thing about my plates, they're square. So you can just butt a piece up here on the back, because as the chassis rises, the rear end will walk forward. Now we'll be able to measure wheelbase loss in chassis height. And remember this, our wheels do not travel up and down. It is the chassis that moves up and down. So this way we can really get in here and measure everything accurately. What we'll want to do is get the car kind of in some dynamic position first. Now I got the right front spring out, as you can see up there. And I know that this car, when we run it, I've got it to where it bottoms out on the frame. Right up here, I've ground that to the right height to where it is, X, kind of like a bump stop. So we've done that. Now we haven't changed anything, but by dropping the right front down, you can see that we're already started to have wheelbase loss. We can take one of our caster camber gauges, adapted here to a trailing arm. Look, I just took a piece, weight clamp, put a bolt in there to pinch it up, and should have showed down here that we already had about 5 degrees of cage indexing. Now my cages, the bottom is square, so we can hang that. Another thing, we can hang a caster gauge right off of the back of the rear end cover, or if it's 9-inch, off the front. And we can watch what our pinion angle is doing as well. But now we need to rise the chassis. So as we rise the chassis, you know where it hits the chain. It's always important to look at photos on the racetrack and position the car that way as well. Now, since I don't have a chain in this, I just know that from the axle tube to this frame rail, the height, so I'm going to put it up there to where it will be. And we're right there at our 18-inch mark. Now we can come in here and see that while the car rised up, that we've got damn near 2 3/4 inch of wheelbase loss. But now for our steer, we can come in here and measure that we're 2 on the back. We're 3, looks like 3 1/8 on the front. So there's 1 1/8 inch of steer. Now we can see what our bar angles have changed. Our cage has went to 17 3/4 degrees of index. Pull bar cars are really bad. This is now at 1.6 pinion angle. And there's a lot to be worked with on your chassis mounts, your rear end mounts, because when the rear end walks forward, your pull bar, like this one in this car, that becomes a pivot point, and when the rear end walks forward, it will actually rotate the pinion. Now, we don't even have the acceleration part of this going on yet, and we've already lost all of our pinion angle. Something to really be working on your cars. So just wanted to show some of the things that we can do. It's very important to know what exactly the rear steer is, what our wheelbase loss is, what our bar angles are doing. And you obviously you want to do this on both bars. I just got a couple on here. See what your cage angle is doing. Another thing, you come back here, look at the toe of the left rear bars. Now, some of the things on this car I have wrong on purpose to help show what we can find. Now, I will be changing this car over and putting this cage on here with the brake, and that will actually help the way I've measured it up and fix some of this toe issue. But just wanted to show a video of what we can do in the rear end of the car with the setup plates. And just remember one more time, our wheels do not travel up and down. If they do, you're on a cornfield, and tell the promoter fix the racetrack. The tire stays on the track, chassis rises. Now we can get a true measurements and see what is happening actually with the car as the chassis travels. If you have questions, call me at 563-659-1153 or at hammondmotorsports.com. And thank you for your time. Have a good day.